Alright, so how, you may ask, does Boone parallel with Juliet? So check this out. A while ago, I remember the producers, writers, creators, whatever you want to call them, Damon Lindelof and Carlton Cruise, talking about that people really only need to see season 1 and season 6 and they'll understand Lost. And I think after LAX 1 and 2, I understand what they were talking about. Because, like I said, I've actually decided I'm not really going to focus as much on this what if 8:15. I'm just going to focus all my attention on the island. And because that's the story that we are familiar with that's going to take us out. That's the story that we need finished. Okay. So, parallels with Juliet and Boone. In season 1, Locke devoted himself to the island, yada yada yada. Boone followed him to his death. Locke stood by the fact that it was a sacrifice that the island demanded, but only after he did some internal questioning. Now, if you remember correctly, the night of Boone's death is when Locke was doubting everything that he was doing. So what does he do? He walks out to the hatch, bangs on the hatch, Desmond turns on the light, we know, and Locke takes that as his sign that Boone was the sacrifice that the island demanded. So, right there, Jack detonates the bomb. He thinks that's what we're supposed to do. But you know what? Faraday was wrong. Whatever happened, absolutely happened. In this Oceanic 8:15 that we've been seeing and studying and obsessing over, excuse me, this is where the story is going to finish. Jack detonates this bomb, thinking this is what the island wants. He gets confused because it doesn't reset time. Oh, bummer. You're still at the hatch. It's blown up. Everybody's mad at you. Juliet dies. You second guess everything, right? It was a sacrifice that the island demanded. Saeed is on the brink of death. Jack decides he can't fix Saeed this time around. This is a new Jack on the island. Like I said in my last blog post a couple back, Jack is the new Locke, and that's what I'm talking about. This new island stuff, Jack is the new Locke. So, Boone, Juliet, that's Jack's first sacrifice. Jack has all this self-doubt. He gives up. He says, I can't fix him. That's the first time Jack's ever done that in the history of the story. They go to the temple. You know the end. Saeed wakes up. That was Jack's hatchlight moment. That's when he realized that everything that has happened for a reason. And he's just going to go with the flow. I'm really anxious to see this conversation that he's going to have with these two main guys that are defending the temple. It's really neat. And, you know, that's where all the answers are going to be. In season 1, Jack wanted to go home. We see this new Locke, which, I mean, come on, like, you guys want answers? Hello? We've been obsessing about the smoke monster. Well, now we know what the smoke monster is. We know who the smoke monster is. We don't necessarily know what he's there for and why he's the smoke monster, but there's a definitive answer to a lot of that smoke monster mythology. You know, Richard with the chains. I mean, that interchange was great. But, you know, this new reincarnation of Locke, he wants to go home. You know, Jack wanted to go home. Now, Locke wants to go home. The entire island scenario is going to be now Jack trying to convince Locke that he needs to stay on the island as the smoke monster and protect the island. For some reason, way back when, those duties were bestowed upon him to keep this island safe and keep it protected. Whether it be by Jacob or whoever created Jacob or whatever that situation is. I mean, that's another, those are more answers that we have to get to the familiar story though now. I'm off the what if. You've noticed I haven't even mentioned it again. I gave you my chill moments and that was it. But pay attention to the island when you're watching what Kate does tonight. It's that's where the answers and the story that you want to know is going to transpire. Maybe far down the road, the what if and the origin will coincide. But if it doesn't, hey man, it's going to be one hell of a ride. So what Kate does is on in a couple hours. I'm going to go try and play a little WoW, I think. Lich King just came out. So I'm going to go kill Arthas. And yeah, enjoy what Kate does. I'll talk to you guys next week.